Hello, vinyl community. This is Bill at Michigan Record Club, and I want to just do a quick uh, recent finds video and show you. I got just a small stack here, but I'm gonna get them out of the way. I got a record show coming up in a couple weeks, so I imagine I will find some vinyl there that I always do. So we'll see how big of a stack. See how long till the money runs out. All right, first off, I'm going to start with this album. I've had it for a while. This one is called Brotherhood. It was by it was a group called Paul Revere and the Raiders, and these were actually the Raiders. So until before Paul Revere came along. It's pretty much pop music. There's a little bit of psych in there at the time because it came out in '68, and they all split up the singing pretty much. Other than that, I thought I would add that one to my collection. Now I got it. Now that some of the big hitters. First, I might as well start off with this one. You probably, if you've watched any of the videos, you've seen. I know Steve Carlson had an album by Pablos Blues, and I know Dylan has talked about how great of a band they are. What I seen in both cases, they had the first record by Pablos and his band, but this album was actually Pablos' fifth album that they did. They started out in '71, I believe, and boy, they were doing an album a year. One year, I think they did two albums. And then after this album, I know they switched around a bunch of the band members. You know how bands go. Papos was the only constant, seemed like, for the most part. He also got into another band and was doing some work as a band called Riff. And as hard a rocking as this band is, he considered Riff to be the heavy metal band, and this one just to be his hard rock band. So they were big down there in Argentina. So yeah, one thing South America knows, and that's hard rock and roll. They know all about metal. They love their metal rock down there. But there's the backside. You want to see the guys there. But yeah, that one's called Pablos Blues. Triangulo was the name of that album. Triangulo. Next, a little bit easier one for me to pronounce. Euclid. This is the record that they produced called Heavy Equipment. This album was released in the early part of the 70s. I forget. I think it was 71. I know the lead singer died in a motorcycle accident, and so this was one of those one album and done, and it was a great album. You know, it was unfortunate that they didn't stick together and come up with another person to fill the spot, but it was actually that lead singer's band. His name was Gary Levitt or something like that. But this band, if you like hard rock and roll, you'll definitely like Heavy Equipment. And I strongly recommend it. Another one, same situation. This one is called Dark Around the Edges. And Dark, they also was a one album and done. Whatever reason, they broke up, and these guys were from the UK, and it's a really good album. I mean, it's hard rock. I'll open this one up for you, and it's the kind of music I'm always looking for. I like that late 60s, early 70s hard rock music. And keep going in the same vein. This album, again, was a one and done. This was a group called Black Cat Bones, and the name of the album was Bob Wire Sandwich. And you've probably seen this one around. I know Dylan is also showing this album. Dylan's a good, has good taste. I quite often listen to him and listen to the albums he talks about, and that's how I got in touch with Black Cat Bones. Really good hard rock and roll. These are all reissues, of course. The originals in almost every case are like over $300 or more. The one album, I think the Dark album, you can't even find an original because there was just so few. They produced enough albums for the band and friends of the band. So yeah, if you ever did find one, I think it's over $1,000 or something. But anyhow, I do got a couple more records here to finish up with, and these records you probably won't see me talking about too often, and it's music in the pop world. But this is from a new artist. She's just a young girl named Billie Eilish. And she's only like 18, or I think 17 or 18, maybe 17. and she's produced that album. That was an EP. This one is her first real album, and I'm trying to think of what it's called. Something about I forgot. Let me see if it's in the liner notes. I don't know. Something about they all come out with where do they go when I forgot. But anyhow, this was her first album. You have to look up the title. It's a big long sentence. And then I got this one too, which is just mostly it's different takes, and then it's got a couple other rare albums, but or rare songs. But she will be on TV tonight at the Grammys. I don't usually watch that. Probably won't this time either. It's kind of a gimmick thing. I know people have protested it all the time about it being unfair and everything. Just like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you know, all these awards, they all have seems like they all have dirt to just sweep out from under the carpet. But anyhow, I just wanted to show you those records that I got recently, and hope you had a good weekend, or having a good weekend, and I will see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.